Yeah, it's me. It's Hugh from QLC. I'm calling it now. There's going to be a third lockdown. There's going to be a third national lockdown. I'm calling it now. After we literally just came out of a second national lockdown here in England, in the UK, a few days ago, roughly a week ago, after all that, we're now being told that the people of London and people that live in certain parts of Essex and Hertfordshire are going to go into tier three. We're joining Slough. We're going to join Slough and enter tier three, which means pubs and restaurants, they will be open only for deliveries and takeaways. Um, what else? This means that you can't mix with anybody indoors. Um, that you don't live with. So many other different little rules that I'll put on my Facebook page. My YouTube channel's Facebook page. You can read it there. That's not what this video is about. You already know what the rules are going to be. Of course, gyms are going to be open. Cinemas, they're not. I don't think they're going to be open because that counts as entertainment. But things are going to change. So London is going to go from tier two to tier three. That is what they're telling us, and it's going to happen from 1 minute past midnight on Wednesday. This Wednesday, and I'm recording this on Monday. So that's what you have to take into account. But why I wanted to make a quick video was because I'm not even shocked anymore. I just know that they're desperately trying to not enter a third lockdown. But I know what's going to happen because this is what happened last time. We had the first lockdown, then we were allowed to roam free during the summer, eat out to help out. Then, we made a bit more money, boosted the economy a little bit, but then COVID cases increased. So we had this stupid tier system that didn't work. Then we had the second national lockdown. And now that we're out of that, of course, COVID cases are going to increase. And what they're also saying is that, COVID cases have increased, especially in secondary schools. Now, here's the thing. During the second lockdown, the schools were open and, didn't we all say to each other, hey, why are the pubs and restaurants closed? And why are the retail shops closed? But the schools are still open. Adults know not to spread germs, and adults are mature enough to try their best to not spread disease and germs, but children are going to be children. They're not going to care so much, no matter how many times they're being told. They're just going to do what they want to do. And lo and behold, as, as common sense dictated, COVID cases have increased in schools, and now that's part of the reason why they're, feeling so threatened by the resurgence of this virus that, that we're going to end up in tier three instead of tier two and face harsher restrictions than we've already faced. But in reality, I'm sure that this is going to be a temporary measure because of two reasons. One, with the Xmas bubble thing, when they're going to have all these restrictions, but you're going to be allowed to see members of your family from three different households. That's still going ahead. So that's happening, number one. And number two, the reason why I think there's going to be a third national lockdown is because, honestly, the tier system is not going to work. People are going to, a few people are going to break the rules, but that's not the main issue. The main issue is because the rules, in my opinion, are so vague, saying not to travel too far, or where's too far. People are still going to meet up. People are still going to hang out. People still have jobs where they have no choice but to mingle with other people. Like if you're working in hospitality, if you're working in retail, stores are still going to be open. But if you're working in hospitality, you might have to do takeaways and delivery only. You're still going to have to mix with people, and COVID is still going to, resurge, and people with weak immune systems are still going to be worse affected. So, number one, the Xmas bubble, and number two, people are still going to mix, even when people are let out to do things such as socialize or work. So, because of those things, and I'm sure a bunch of other little reasons as well, we're still going to get a third lockdown. I'm just calling it now because if in case you haven't noticed, it's kind of like a massive yo-yo effect. It's like we have a lockdown, we don't have a lockdown, then we have a tier system, then we have another lockdown, then we're back to the tier system, then the tier system's getting harsher and worse, and now now we're facing this tier three situation. I'm tempted to bet money on it. We're gonna end up in a third lockdown especially because of what happens during the Christmas bubble. Corona doesn't care what day of the year it is. Corona doesn't care if it's 9 p.m., 10 p.m., 11 p.m. Corona doesn't care what you look like. Corona doesn't care about your age. Corona doesn't care about festive holidays. COVID doesn't care about your Christmas break and you wanting to see your family. It's not going to take a day off. It's a disease. This is just political nonsense so that the country can, not hate the government so much and go, oh, I want to celebrate Christmas. And it's absolute BS. You're going to tell me that London's going to be in tier 3, but we're still going to have the Xmas bubble. It defeats the purpose. It defeats the purpose. Because people are going to see each other. Some people are going to see each other that they haven't seen each other in months. Some people are going to see friends and family they haven't seen in months, and they're going to meet them for Christmas. What, you think everyone's just going to be 2 meters apart? Get real, people. Get real. You think they're all going to be wearing masks and gloves and moisturize their entire bodies with hand gel every 5 minutes? No, get real, people. That's not what's going to happen. And during wintertime, I'm no biologist, but it's just going to get worse because people are going to be sniffing, sneezing, coughing because of the cold. It's going to be easier to spread germs. I don't want to take the mick out of the government. I'm sure they know what they're doing. I'm sure they're doing their very best. It's just that I feel like we're going up and down, left, right. We're being messed about. We're being told one thing, and then a few days later, we're being told something else. We all knew COVID cases would rise once we get out of lockdown. We knew this already, especially in densely populated areas, especially in big cities. We knew this already. What is this about? Surely there's this little thing. Instead of just having hindsight, there's this thing called foresight. You could pretty much predict the inevitability of what's going to happen. And now you're saying, okay, great. We told you to leave your house. We told you can go back to work. Oh, wait, COVID is going back. We have to reel it back in. People are not sheep. People are not cattle. Eventually, more and more people are going to start disobeying the rules, no longer following the rules, because the rules are not going to make sense to them anymore. It doesn't even make sense now. But, think I'm a conspiracy theorist. Think I'm crazy. There's no third lockdown, whatever. I promise you there's going to be a third lockdown. National. I promise you. It's going to probably happen January, possibly February, once they realize all the COVID deaths over Christmas, all the COVID deaths in the early New Year. Oh, God. I promise you they're going to come up and say, well, we have no choice. I promise you. I've sent some links below. You want to talk about, you want to find out what the rules are. It's going to be basically the same as tier 2, but things are just going to get a little bit harsher. You're still going to go out for drinks, but you can't go inside the premises. As far as I'm aware, theaters are going to be closed. Cinemas are going to be closed. Gyms are going to be open. I think swimming pools might be open, possibly. Go look it up for yourself. I just wanted to rant about how ridiculous this is, because the schools, apparently we're being told to close our schools early. We should have had the schools closed ages ago when we had the second lockdown. That's part of the reason this is happening, and everybody knows it. So it's not one person out of 10,000, driving 200 miles to meet somebody, and then they break the rules. No, it's all these kids going home to their parents, to their grandparents, and spreading the disease. Next time, we're all just going to stay at home, because this is starting to tick me off. And another thing before I go, I want you all to, pay attention to this channel over the next few days, over the next few weeks. I'm going to give you more content. I'm going to be more up to date with all this nonsense, because I don't think we have a choice anymore. So like the video, comment, subscribe, share the video. Have fun. Have a good evening. Goodbye.